Hi there. Welcome to my 365 days of reading from the Golden Present, daily inspirational readings by Swami Satchidananda. And this is January 4th. And I'm here in the yoga room. It's part of my gym. And it's been a great place to get to practice in and to do these readings from. So here it is for January 4th. Real love is possible. Don't love only your fellow humans. Love everyone and everything equally. All things are your fellow beings, not only humans. By loving everything, you are really loving yourself. Everything is nothing but the expression of yourself. If you stand in front of a mirror, you love that reflection. You smile at it and it smiles at you. In the same way, the whole world is your projection. You love because you are made of love, not because you have to love. The scriptures say to love your neighbor as yourself. You don't love your neighbor as an individual. You love that person as yourself. That means you have to see yourself in the other person. Real love is possible only when you see everything as your own expression. All others are none other than you. They just appear to be different. We always need to go beyond the name and form. When we rise above the worldly limitations, we will find that the essence is the same. That's a beautiful one. Real love is possible. I was part of a workshop that I had done some years ago where I learned the phrase, "We are each other." Wait, is that right? I think that's right. And it's the same kind of idea. It's not simply seeing the other as someone else I want to be nice to or kind to, but actually seeing someone else as myself, as a projection of how I experience the world. So when I see anger out in the world, when I see hatred, when I see racism, when I see beauty, that those are actually parts of myself that I feel like I'm seeing. When those happen, and I think about that in that way, that it's a mirror, rather than immediately moving into a place of blame and accusation, I first have to think about my part in this. What's my contribution to what I'm seeing? Why are my eyes projecting that particular situation? Here in San Francisco, there's often a lot of homelessness, and it can be hard to navigate through. A lot of my friends and I talk about this at different times, how we manage and find acceptance around this or take action around it. Actually, just today, a little earlier, there was a man at a crosswalk who had a red and white cane, and he was saying, what was he saying? It wasn't something to the effect of, "Can somebody help?" But it was a little unclear, and I had to stop and listen to him and wait for him to say it again. And then I went in and said, "Do you need some help?" I said, I'm here to help if you need. And he said a couple more things, and I wasn't totally sure if he was having some mental health stuff going on, but then he was able to say, "Yeah, I've been waiting for someone to help me get across, and I need to get to the library." And so I helped him, get across, and it was a practice for me, even though I was like, "Oh, I need to get to such and such place," but a practice for me to experience, to practice offering that compassion out there in the world that I want to be able to experience, to offer the kind of care and guidance that I'd want to have. It's not always possible that I'm able to be of service in that way at this stage in my life. I do wrestle with some things when I'll see that I could, and then I'm like, "Oh, well, I gotta, So it continues to be a journey for me around this. But I know that when I do things like that, when I am able to offer compassion and acceptance it lifts me up. I feel different versus I could have said, God, what's wrong with that person? All these homeless people all over the place. God, why doesn't somebody help them? You know, it sets me off in a certain tone, and I walk away from that with a little bit of a, negative vibe going on. So that's one of the things that came up. I think about some of the more challenging people in my life. Where can I practice this? Seeing others as myself. And one of the things I remember hearing about is, the seeds of all the horrible things that we have in this world, all the awful things that people have done. Those are within every single one of us. I've heard it this way. And it's just a matter of what gets watered, what gets nurtured in us. And I know, is it nature or nurture? There's something, it's another conversation, but I do believe also that we have the seeds of love and compassion, kindness, caring, and sincere interest in our fellows. And I think that comes from our sincere interest in taking care of ourselves. And when we have that practice, for me, it has tended to turn out into my practice out in the world.